Hi all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology. And today, Venus in Aries, understanding this placement within your birth chart, perhaps a birth chart of a friend or a family member, to understand how this individual, whether it's you or someone else, approaches love, money, pleasure, art, all of the different facilities of Venus. We're breaking it all down. If you wouldn't mind, if at any point in this video you gain any value, if you feel seen, if you feel heard, if you understand your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend a little bit more, if you could just drop a like, comment something below, subscribe, turn the notifications, any of which that you feel comfortable with, I would be so appreciative. Those little nudges are what helps me and my channel so much. So I'm super grateful. And without further ado, let's dive in. Venus in Aries. So what you need to know about Venus in Aries firstly is that it is not inherently comfortable. Does this mean that you are flawed? Not at all. It just means that Venus doesn't perform as well in Aries as it does in other signs. This is because Aries is a very direct, go after what you want sort of energy. Whereas Venus is the attractor. It's about enjoying where we are rather than going on to the next thing. So we have the energy of Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars, which is action, assertion, infused into Venus, which is about attracting what we want to us, which is about love, which is about beauty, right? So I'll name some manifestations of how this can occur. Firstly, these individuals can love a chase in romance. They love that pursuit. And I've found many times that sometimes when they get their beloved or they finally, get the attention of the person they've been pining over, the challenge is over and they're over it, right? Because there's this energy around wanting to pursue, wanting to go after what it is that they want, and almost kind of liking a challenge, honestly. And so when they finally get their attention, if the luster is gone, they're like sort of bored. Now, I don't want you to get frightened, if you're dating someone with this placement and you're like, are they over me? Did they already conquer the challenge? Not necessarily. We'll go into other manifestations of it. But I will say if your crush has Venus in Aries, this is the sort of energy where you're gonna want to play a little bit hard to get, because they don't want things to necessarily come easy. They love that sort of flirty, bantering stage. Some with this placement sort of like it when you're not by any means cruel, but like a little mean, like pick on them a little bit, because it almost, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it almost speaks this sort of like childlike sort of romance where it's like teasing the person that you like or like pulling their hair, and it's just sort of like flirty and it's banter and it's light. They love that dance. If you're automatically super into them and you're like, let's plan marriage bells, it's sort of like dampens their energy around love, which is that it should be light, it should be fun, it should be sort of like bantery rather than this really heavy, intense thing. So if your crush does have this, without being disingenuous, because Aries is a very direct, forward energy, play into that lightness, into that banter, into perhaps teasing the individual or allowing yourself to be teased. And there's nothing you can inherently do to make a Venus in Aries want you, because Venus in Aries knows what they want, they move towards it. That's the nice thing about dealing with the Venus Aries, is that they're very direct expression. Aries is the first sign, the sign of self. So Venus in Aries typically won't play games with you, they might tease you or banter with you a little bit, but they're not going to necessarily lie or be deceiving to you, because Venus in Aries tends to be very, very forthright. I am who I am. I want what I want. I'm going after that. And let's say you're in a committed relationship with the Venus in Aries, and that challenge has been won over. It doesn't mean that they automatically lose interest. Some, may, but many Venus Aries are in very happy, like committed relationships, and they don't have this eternal feeling of wanting to like conquer, but they will want it to feel fun. Like I said, Venus in Aries wants love to feel light. They want to maybe be a little competitive with their lover. They want to poke fun at their lover. They want to be able to like play games, go to arcades, go to amusement parks. They want love to feel like something that is very freeing rather than something that sort of weighs them down and impedes their sense of who they are, because Aries can be a very independent sign. So it's like they don't need you, they want you, right? And they want a partner who's gonna have fun with them, be next to them at laser tag, having a great time, who's up for an adventure, who's up for novelty, because Aries can get a little bored. If you are in a committed relationship and you are a Venus Aries or you're dating a Venus Aries, they just might wanna find that challenge in different avenues. Like Aries cannot wake up to the same reality every single day. Like they need some sense of novelty and freshness. So if they're not, pursuing a lover, maybe it's like pursuing something else within their world, like a certification or a new job or something that sort of satiates that Mars-like desire to want to go after what they want. There's impulsivity with this placement. It's important to know with Venus and Aries, It is like an instinctual placement. They know what they like, they know who they are, and they go after it. So if Venus in Aries isn't that inherently interested in you, there's nothing you can say or do that'll make them interested in you, honestly. It's a very forward, this is what I want. It's very direct. They don't play games. They'll make their intentions known and they will act on their impulses, because this is a very impulsive sign, which can manifest in a lot of different ways, which we will cover in this. But in love, they will want this energy around spontaneity, like having a sudden desire. Hey, do you want to go get ice cream sundaes at 2 a.m.? Sure. Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? And for the time that you two spend together, obviously, if you're in a committed relationship, there needs to be discussions around bills and who's taking on this and who's taking on this, but ensuring that you're really watering the garden of your relationship in terms of having time where it's just light, where it's just playful, it's just bantering, and it almost just feels like you guys are like two teenagers with a crush, just like flirting with each other. That is what Venus and Aries needs in a relationship. And so long as that's being satiated, it's not necessarily that they'll be like conquering or trying to, go after different people, right? Going after that chase. If they have that sort of banter and that sort of like dance within the relationship, they won't need to. They just want that energy within a union. And they also need quite a bit of personal space. It is a very independent sign. So ensuring when you're dating a Venus and Aries that you're allowing them to pursue heartfelt goals that they want to go after, right? They have this energy of challenge that they want. They want to strive for things. They want to go after things. So ensuring that you're not dimming what it is that they want to do, as well as allowing them to be, have their own space, their own interests. Aries cannot be tied down, and they actually will resent you a little bit if they feel like you are putting them in a box, because Aries really wants to be free. They want to express themselves in a myriad of ways.
Forgive the uneven audio. I just wanted to mention that your Venus in Aries lover is going to be feisty and passionate. You have the planet of love, Venus, answering to Mars, which is action, assertion, anger. So these individuals are not going to back down from a fight. They are not going to want to brush anything under the rug. They have a strong desire to be upfront and direct and make their needs clearly known within the union. It can be frustrating when you're in a relationship with the Venus and Aries, because it's like, we're a team here. Why are you always fighting with me? And it's important to know that the Venus and Aries individual wants passion. And sometimes that can go to a lens in that they are fighting just to kind of feel that passion. Again, the best expression of this is this sort of like banter, or maybe being a little bit competitive with one another to encourage your partner to be the best version of themselves. But sometimes they can truly pick fights, because to them, Venus, how they love is sometimes that arguing or that fighting. And I would definitely say, if you're noticing that with your lover, strive to sort of fight forward, or at least direct more energy towards, being competitive or just kind of playing around with one another, rather than genuinely, cutting down or disrespecting the union. They want passion. They want feistiness. They want you to be able to hold your own. And it can sort of be this fascinating back and forth dynamic of being like, hey, we're partners in crime here. Why are you fighting me on this? But for Venus and Aries, they sort of like that dynamic. They like the energy of Mars infused in Venus.
So the next bucket that we'll explore is financially, and this is where the impulses can come into play. Venus and Aries can be pretty good in going after money-making abilities. Like if they see something that they want to do, they can go after it. Or like, I think a business selling succulents out of teacups, I think that would make money. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to invest. Like Venus and Aries is energy that is drawn to taking action, going after what they want. So in terms of money-making ability, they can be very forward with opportunities, with jobs, with things of that nature that sort of satiates, again, that desire to want to go after what they want, to be a go-getter. But the impulsivity, as much as it can play out beautifully and going after it, it can also play out with spending lots of money. Venus and Aries, if they see something they like, they're like, I want that. Remember, Aries is very impulsive and they know what they want. So when they see that perfect bookshelf, see that boba tea that they really want, there's no thought, there's just wanting it. So they can be a little impulsive when it comes to their money. I would definitely say if you're a Venus in Aries, maybe getting on some sort of like budget, because there can be a desire to take action, that's Mars, in how it is that you spend your money and be like, okay, I'm earning all this money, I'm pursuing all these clients, I'm getting all this commission, but where is it all going? And I would say Venus in Aries, they could spend a lot of their money on experiences, on new things. That's the quality of Aries. They could spend a lot of money, you know, at amusement parks, at, you know, games, at movies, going on hikes, going, you know, moving their physical body, wanting to spend money on working out, things of the nature. That can be things that Aries will spend their money on. Aries wants to play. They want to have fun. So they'll spend a lot of money on the pursuit of having fun. The next bucket is creatively. So Venus and Aries, again, the great thing about Aries energy and why I love Aries energy is because you know what you're dealing with. They're not really shisty. They're not really shady. And I mentioned this in the bucket of creativity because there's a very raw nature to how these individuals express themselves. They do not censor themselves when it comes to art and to self-expression. Even if you go into their house and like with their artwork, they dare to be different, and in a different way than like Aquarius, you know, they're sort of daring to be different. It's just because it is who they are and they don't feel any desire to censor themselves or to suppress themselves. They're like, this is who I am. I'm creating what I want to create. I'm decorating what I personally like, and I don't really care what you like. This is what suits me. So their art tends to be very raw. It tends to be very sort of direct, very true from their own experience, very derived from their own experience. Particular art forms could be things that are Mars-like. So things such as, you know, athletics or dancing, or things, you know, yoga, any sort of movement will be very highlighted for these individuals. But honestly, their art can go in a lot of different directions, but there is this desire to be raw with it, maybe to even incite some conversation or to be a little controversial in terms of some of their art. They might be drawn to reds, crimson tones.
In addition to Aries having a very authentic and unique style, I've found that often it actually integrates the quality of Mars. Mars is the planet of action, assertion, and aggression, right? So oftentimes I see that Venus and Aries individuals are drawn to aesthetics, jewelry, and clothing that are Mars-like. So think things with spikes, chains, knife necklaces, things that sort of portray that Mars-like aggression, even if they're not necessarily a violent person at all, but things that make them seem and feel tougher. They also could be drawn to wanting their beauty to be expressed in a more tough way. Like I found a lot of Venus and Aries individuals are really into working out, being as fit and as strong as possible. It's almost like using their beauty, it's Venus, as a weapon, that's Aries, as a device to sort of seduce and get what they want.
All in all, if you have Venus and Aries in your life, you have a direct lover, someone who wants to squeeze out every bit of life, who wants to experience, who wants to play, who wants life to feel fun and adventurous and exciting. So life will never be boring when you have Venus Aries within your life. Just make sure to respect their independence, respect their authenticity, and be open to an adventure. What do you think of this placement, friends? I would love to hear below. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology, same with TikTok. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.